Hello everyone, I'm Aerithia from A&O Gaming and this is episode 4. Today I will work on the interior and as you can see I already did some things off screen. I mainly just cleaned it up a little bit, but I did make this high rounded ceiling and I will show you how that looks at the end of the episode in a real-time part. But first we're gonna finish the inside. So there were a lot of things overlapping because of how the outside was made. So I just placed a lot of walls to cover that up and now it's a lot easier to do something with this space. We do have a lot of space in here, so we will finish up a few things here first. And then I'll start working on a grand staircase, which will really give the inside something cool. So yeah, before I do that, we need to finish up these walls here. So I thought some huge pillars would work pretty well for this, to hide some of the ones that were still showing through. And at the same time, give the inside something cool to look at. So this is pretty fun to do. Normally you just begin from scratch and that can be quite hard because you don't have anything to go on except for maybe an idea that you already had. But with this you already have a shape to work with and you really have to think about what would fit right in here. So yeah, that does mean not every door and window will be in the correct spots when you look from the outside, which is something I do like to do, but that is too difficult in this case because I would have to change a lot of the exterior and that is something I'm just not gonna do. I'm pretty happy with how it all looks and I do want the interior to look right as well. So for that we need to have some windows and doors in here to make it feel big and to make it feel like there are ways to get around in this castle. Otherwise it would just look like one big hall and that wouldn't be very interesting to look at. So yeah, I just made these arches and now placing a wall behind it, later some doors, so it seems like you can go to a different room from there. And just now we had a little skip, so I'm getting a bit behind, I'm sorry for that. I just have a lot of things to tell you this episode. So yeah, I started working on the grand stairs and the first try really wasn't working for me, so I had to try out some different things until I got the stairs that I wanted. What you will see now is what I came up with in the end and it looks pretty cool from when you walk in. So I won't be working on the coaster anytime soon and if that is something you were hoping for, I'm sorry. I know a lot of people look forward to that, but if you've seen my previous series, you know I like the coaster to interact with a lot of things that are happening on the outside. And since we only have the castle at this point, I would still have to do quite a lot for me to see how I want this coaster to go. There are a bunch of floating islands outside and the idea kind of was to have a travel to those islands. It's called the Sky Kingdom for a reason. Those islands will have towers on there and they will feel like an extension of the castle. So let me just say, if it all works out how I think it will, it's gonna be pretty awesome. And I hope you can be a little bit patient with me and follow me on my creative process in this and how I need to do this, because I feel like this coaster should be the last thing we do for this series. So I hope you're not too disappointed with that, but when I started this park I had so many ideas and before I could do anything I just really wanted to try out the new objects and make a castle. For me, it's just so much more fun to build in this park now that I have the castle almost done. It kind of sets the bar for the whole park. Yeah, since it's almost October, the month of Halloween, I really wanted to do something with that and start working on a spooky forest next. I think that will be a lot of fun and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, before I get too much off track, you can kind of see where I'm going with this now and how this will look when it's finished. I'm pretty happy with how these stairs look at this time and I just had to build one side and could copy over what I made to the other side. But since it's mirrored, I had to adjust it. It took me quite some time to get it exactly right. And since you can see underneath the stairs as well, I had to make sure that looked nice. And yeah, for now there's just not a lot of color in here and all looks kind of like a show model or something, but I will put a lot of details in here to make it feel a bit more alive. And when I was done, I came back to it the next day off screen and I added color in here, and I will show you that in the real-time part what I did and how it completely changed the feel of the inside. So there's something I wanted to address for a bit. I had some comments about the speed of the episode. For some, it was going a bit too fast, and they were right, definitely right. It was a bit too fast. So I slowed it down a bit, but not a lot. Because when I build, most of the time I watch a series in the background, and I can't worry too much about making sure everything is built as fast as I can, because that would mean I wouldn't have any fun doing this anymore. And building in games always has been something relaxing for me to do, and I would like to keep it that way. So I build pretty slow, and yeah, next to that, I also just build pretty slow. I'm just not that fast, okay? But yeah, I have to speed it up quite a bit so it doesn't get boring either, because you can see right now it's taking quite some time to get these stairs done. But at the same time, I do realize that a lot of creative watchers like to see the objects that I'm using, so they will get inspired and see exactly what I did. So there are a lot of things that go into making something like this. A lot of things you find out when you actually start making episodes, and things I never realized before doing this. So yeah, what I found out is when the episodes are too long, that is something a lot of people don't like. And when you have too many parts to it, it takes weeks to see some progress. That is also not really ideal. I could then choose to take more parts out, but for the people who like to see the creative process behind all this, that is also something that just doesn't work well. So it's pretty hard to find the right balance, and you can never keep everyone happy, but I'm always willing to listen to feedback and see what I can do. So like last episode, I cut some things out that I had to do twice, and I did slow it down a bit. And even though it's not a lot, I hope it's somewhat easier to follow what objects I use. And I will always keep improving, and that's just the way I am, always working on making things better if I can. So please do keep in mind I'm still pretty new at this. I've only been doing this for about 2 months, so yeah, there's enough room for improvement for sure. But I do have to say thank you so much for the amount of compliments I got on this build after last episode. It really motivates me to keep at it and just keep making cool things like this. So the stairs are as good as done, and over here we have this big door that leads to the outside area, and I wanted to make it like there was actually a way for them to get here, even though there's no way for the peeps to get here. I still feel like that is something I would like to make, maybe make a path to go up here, and yeah, maybe put a flat ride outside or something. But for now we'll keep it like this, and that is something I could still change later on. Like I said, the castle seems finished, but it's really not. There's still so much to do in this style, and I still need to do the islands, and I still want some shops on the main island over here, and yeah, a lot of things to do still. So I will just finish this build as much as I can, and yeah, this was actually a pretty fun idea to hang the sword like this, and I think I will delete it later on because I will put a fountain there, and it didn't seem right anymore, but I do still like the idea of hanging the sword over there. And I must say the fairy tale items are amazing. I finally got the feeling that we actually could decorate the inside of a building and do the interior right. And with the pirate theme, I always felt like there was just not enough stuff to make it feel like it was cluttered enough, or yeah, just not enough items to get to the point that I feel like, okay, this is done. And with the fairy tale theme, I really enjoy doing this a lot. Of course, I feel like still there's a lot missing, and that is still because it's an alpha. When the full game releases, I'm pretty sure we get way more. And the release date is actually getting pretty close, so I hope you guys are excited to play this game. And I heard about if you bought the Thrill Seeker edition, you get to play for a few days next week, so that is exciting stuff as well. Very cool, and I hope you guys will enjoy it because this game is absolutely amazing. So here I started doing the queue line, and I was kind of figuring out what I wanted to do because I feel like it's a little bit too short to make it straight. I did it anyway for now because that just looks the best for this build, but yeah, I think it's a little bit too short. And we have the priority passes now, so I do want the priority queue line in here, but yeah, there's not really a good reason for it right now, except for that the queue line is short, so it might be a good plan to have an extra queue line. But yeah, I still need to do some stuff with that. So yeah, just recoloring the coaster a little bit and see how it would look. And what I found out with this one is when you recolor the cars, they still have a little bit of red in here. So yeah, I still want to put some red in the build, and I did that off screen, so I will show you that in the real-time part. And like I said, it changes the whole look of the build. So yeah, that is actually pretty cool, and you will see that at the end of the episode. For now, it still feels like it's a lot of the same. I do like to match colors a lot, but I do feel like at some point you need an accent color to change it up a little bit, and I did do that at the end. So yeah, also these arches, I had to recolor those because it was all blending in too much, and I wanted to create some more depth in here. And now just looking for a lot of random things I can put in here, and there are a lot of objects to go through, and I probably will do some more of that later on. But I did put in these knights, and they are absolutely great. I love animatronics, but these knights are really cool. They make it feel a little bit more alive in here, and yeah, it just fills it up really nicely. At this point, I believe I will put in some plants, and that really helps too. It always amazes me what plants can do for something like this. It makes such a huge difference to the look of what you're working on. And then we have the statue of the king, and it was kind of cool to put a statue up here. It's his castle, so he should have a good place in here. And then just put this fountain in here to finish this off and fill up this empty area a little bit. So yeah, that looks pretty cool to me. I really love the idea of this. And yeah, something I would have really liked was maybe a throne or something, and maybe you could make a throne room or anything. That would be actually pretty cool to do. At this point, we're just finishing up a lot of empty walls still, so I just wanted to finish that up a little bit. Earlier I put in these candles, but I didn't like it, so I didn't show you how I did that. But I basically just put 3 of them together, and yeah, that looked pretty cool, but it was too much. So I decided on some more windows. That is always a good thing to do if you don't know what to do with a wall. So that is almost it for the interior, and I did a lot more which I will show you in real time, like I said, but for now we'll skip to where we will decorate the exterior for a bit. I think it was time to place down some foliage because it's still also very empty, and it does make a huge difference to put down some trees. And this still could use some work. I'm not done yet, but I will mainly focus on some vines now. So I really feel like that just finishes off the castle a little bit, and it makes it less like a show model, like I said earlier. These vines are made so well. They look amazing when you look up close, and yeah, I really enjoy using those. Putting down some of these planters by the windows, and that also feels so good. Before we kind of had to make them ourselves, and I didn't even take the effort to do that because I was like, I'll just wait until they actually are here. And yeah, I really am happy that we have stuff like that now. Like these bushes, I don't have to sink in so many trees anymore to create some bushes, and that just also is something that was really amazing to me, and I really enjoy using those. It always feels right to finish your build off with some foliage and just make it real. It just feels like it's becoming real, and yeah, I really love that. They really did an amazing job on all these different colors of the plants and trees. They are so realistic and beautiful, and I will basically go around the whole building and add these vines everywhere. And I don't know, maybe I went a little bit overboard. I don't know how many of these are needed for it to look good or anything. That is something that I don't have any experience with. So maybe I went a little bit crazy with those. But yeah, this is all I have to show you for now. And we will skip to the real-time part, and I will show you what things I've done off screen. So here we are, and I am so happy with the result. I just love the view from when you walk towards the castle like this, and it just looks absolutely amazing to me. Also from the entrance, when you walk into the park and you can kind of see what you're going to, this just looks really cool to me. So I'm actually really excited at this point to start making this a theme park now. I kind of feel like I've been just building a scenery piece, a backdrop for the park, and yeah, I am really excited to start with some rides and some different fantasy themed areas. But let me just show you what I've done off screen so far. So I placed a lot of trees and rocks, and I am not completely satisfied with how it looks yet, but I didn't have that much time this week, so I just had to go for it. But I do think I want something with water in here, and we'll see. For now, I think this is good enough. I do really love the back, and yeah, I think it looks really good. The path is still cut off here, so I still have to figure that out. Then we have this area over here, and I placed down some planters and a fountain to make this seem less empty. And look at those shadows. They with the roof pieces, they are just amazing. But let me just show you the inside now. I think that is probably it for the outside. Yeah, I should probably put this on play because of the nights. They are a bit noisy though, but yeah, it's really fun. So as you can see, I put down these roof tiles since we don't have any carpets, and I thought, let me just try it like this, and I do like the look of it. They are a bit reflective, so you can see that everything gets a bit of a red glow. And even though it's a bit weird, I kind of like it. It makes the build seem less cold. A lot of these flowers and plants and a lot of chandeliers. I also added some more scenery like these banners and some more of these details over here because I felt like that was kind of missing on the inside. And I think the rest of it I left the same. Yeah, some small windows here, and I just placed down a lot of chandeliers. I think I bordered some things off on the ceiling over there, and I extended the carpet all the way to the grand staircase, so that looks pretty cool to me. It's actually gonna be so much fun when we start doing this coaster, because I do feel like this is an awesome coaster station. So yeah, these nights are not really in place, and I see right now that this yeah, the fountain, the splash comes through the ceiling over here, so yeah, I should probably change that. So I think that is it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I had so much fun finishing off this build, and I am just really excited now to start something new and do something different, because I've been just putting off everything and just putting my heart and soul into this. So I'm really excited to start something different, and I'm very much looking forward to do a Halloween month, so we're gonna do that, and hopefully I can finish the Spooky Forest within 4 episodes, and that is kind of what needs to happen now that I've planned this. And I do still have some ideas for a village and maybe a junior coaster with a Dragon Valley, and a lot of ideas floating around. So yeah, I hope you like this one, and you can show your support by liking and commenting on the video or subscribing to the channel. I always very much appreciate it when you guys do, and I have tons of fun answering your questions. So thank you so much, and I will see you on the next one. I enjoy saying that so much.